Madam Chair, first time out of the way. Ready for me to put the mic on?
15 seconds, you might as well go ahead.
Very slowly.
Very slowly.
Josh, how are we doing?
We're live.
Excellent. Perfect timing. Well, welcome everyone to the Lincolnville Select Board meeting. It is the 27th of March. And before we get going, Josh, would you care to read the quote of the evening?
I'd be happy to. A government is the only known vessel that leaks from the top. James Reston.
Oh, God.
Self-referential.
Okay. Well, I would like to open the podium for any non-agenda items. Seeing no one jumping up and down to run up to the podium, let's move along to the administrator's report.
Just let everybody know nomination papers are available for the positions on the Select Board, the Lincolnville Central School Committee, the Five-Town CSD Board, and the Budget Committee. They need to be returned back by 4:30 on Friday, April 14th, with at least 25 valid signatures to be included on the ballot. Come one, come all. For the board's knowledge, we have the paving work out to bid. We're soliciting proposals for Calderwood Lane Survey and Engineering. If we can get finishing touches on it, the bandstand roofing project will be out this week. And also now soliciting people for possible award of the Boston Post cane. If you were not born before 1924 or know somebody, you can save it for next time. That's all I have.
Alrighty. Yeah, sure.
Question for you, David. Has anybody in the town followed up on the damage at Breezemere Park?
Yes.
Going to the gazebo.
The fine folks at the PTO were semi-horrified that they left it that way. Went back and put the rock back into its previous location that got pushed out of the way by a snowplow. Cleaned up the ash mess that they'd left on the ground, and are working on a plan to restore the grass area back to lawn.
Okay, thanks.
Very good.
It was a little soupy when they got down there.
Anything else for David on the administrator's report? Okay, let's move along to upcoming meetings and announcements.
Lakes and Ponds Committee is meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, March 28th, 7 p.m. in hybrid format, so some will be here at the town office and you'll be able to tune in remotely. Meeting that's not on the agenda is the Midcoast Solid Waste Corporation Board of Directors is scheduled to meet Wednesday, March 29th, 6:30 at the Rockport Town Office. Lincolnville Central School is scheduled to meet on Monday, April 3rd, 6 p.m. at the Lincolnville Central School. And the Select Board meets next on Monday, April 10th, 6 p.m.
Thank you very much. Any upcoming community events anyone wishes to share? Seeing none, let's move along to the meeting minutes from the 13th of March.
I move that the board approve the March 13th, 2023 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you very much. All right. And tabled from last time, we have Mr. Andy Young here to talk to us about land use density, minimum lot size requirements, and how it ties into the comp plan.
Hi everybody, Andy Young, Atlantic Highway, Lincolnville. I think I know everybody here. My apologies. COVID a month ago kept me from getting here. Snowstorm and working on my truck 2 Mondays ago kept me from getting here, and I'm finally here. Backtrack. Following LD 2003 last year, as it was winding its way through the legislature and looking at the housing problem, labor shortage we have in Maine and how those are tied together. LD 2003 was passed, and I know it's a separate issue that, David, you said the Mid-Coast Planning?
Council of Government.
Council of Government is helping the town to draft a new ordinance with that. But it really got me looking back at the comprehensive plan and ideas that were in that kind of start addressing housing issues in Lincolnville going back 25 years ago. The way our land use ordinance is now, you basically need 40,000 square feet for any type of dwelling for each usage, whether that's a home occupancy. Well, actually, you have to double that for home occupancy. There are a lot of grandfathered businesses that were in there. But to have a home occupancy, you need 80,000 square feet. Mother-in-law apartments, Frank has something he's doing. I'm not sure how it actually ties into what's written in our ordinance. He allows an auxiliary apartment that doesn't have a full kitchen. But as far as what LD 2003 brings up is the ability for 2 separate dwellings within a structure. For you guys that know anything about it, it can't, be limited by parking and other things like that. But our comprehensive plan did start going back 25 years ago, and the surveys that went back, I think they went out late 99 and then were reviewed and incorporated around 2001, 2002, looked ahead to the time when Lincolnville was going to have sewer districts. The Lincolnville sanitation facility was in place. There was already talk, though, of replacing that with a new one, which we've seen come to fruition in the last couple of years. There's been talk off and on of attempting to do that in Lincolnville Center. I'm going to guess sidewalks will come first, and I'm not sure I'll ever see sidewalks in Lincolnville Center in my lifetime. But what the comp plan did was it did look at, and if you guys have that in front of you, page 179 of our comprehensive plan, it did look ahead to what would happen in areas that were sewered. In areas that currently have to have 40,000 square feet, it called for the ability to going down to 5,000 square feet. And somewhat maintaining. The description of the district really followed what the Lincolnville sanitation facility had. But today, it goes all the way up to my place on the south side of Route 1 up to Windsor Chairmaker, and then as far as the Historical Society building. The land that's described here is a little bit more than what it was back then. Unfortunately, most of what's described there at the beach would be impacted by shoreline zoning and wiped out anyways, and you wouldn't be able to do it. But my suggestion and hope recommendation is that the town look at following and implementing some of the parts of the comprehensive plan. And I don't know that we've ever really, here we are looking at planning it, redoing our comprehensive plan. I'm not sure we've ever done anything to incorporate anything that came out of our comprehensive plan into our land use ordinances. And David, correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong, but.
okay. But as we begin to review, it'd be kind of good to look at the things that we haven't implemented where things have changed. We do have a sanitation facility, a new sewer district at the beach, and certainly things like that would help to ease housing crisis. We have a lot of businesses at Lincolnville Beach that can't find rentals. There are restaurants at Lincolnville Beach that are renting places in Belfast for entire crews and that are going back and forth. And something like this is just going to give working class families, starter homes, places to live if we can start to make those recommendations. It also calls for, even within the traditional village, like Lincolnville Center, decreasing to 20,000 square feet. Now, all of these, would be whether it could take the septic systems, but again, begin to look at what can we do to make it, more traditional. And I'll bring up a third item, which comes from a couple of years ago that came to the planning board and eventually came to the appeals board. Our ordinances really became kind of a blanket way to, control's the wrong word, regulate what was happening. But we see traditional village uses that are very much different than just a mile outside of a village. And the example I'm going to give is Janet Redfield when she wanted to put the front porch on her building to allow access into the Red, I'm not sure what the name of that store is.
The Red Cottage?
Red Cottage.
I was going to call it the Red Store for anything else, but the Red Cottage.
You mean Janice K?
Yeah,
What's that?
Janice K.
I'm sorry, yep. We had to vote that down at the appeals board, even though right across the street are 2 buildings with porches that are just inches away from, because we have this blanket way of enforcing and our regulations. So it may be worth looking at, are there changes that could be done to the traditional village that would allow something like that? As an appeals board member, I had to vote it down because to me, our ordinance is very clear, you can't have it. But to me, that was an instance where what happens in the village is very different than what might happen, just again, a mile up the road. So I think a look at some of the things in our comprehensive plan, updating them, trying to incorporate them, maybe looking at how the difference is in a traditional village versus the rest of town. And as I understand it, we have no land use committee, so I'll also make myself available to sit on a land use committee.
Excellent.
Oh, there you go.
Woo.
David told me I could not have a committee of one.
So you got to recruit some more members.
So, do I have to fill out another volunteer? Does my appeals board one count?
No, you're about to fill it out.
Okay. I think that's all I got. I don't know if there's any questions on this or.
Common sense stuff. Thank you for coming to the board. Anyone have questions for Andy?
No, he took my question because I was gonna challenge him.
Oh, there you go.
To get on board.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you're gonna do it great.
If I come to minutes, say something, I have to make myself available.
Yeah, it does work that way, eh? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come in. Anything else on that right now? Okay. Moving along, we've got the Townhouse Road Culvert Replacement Project. David, would you care to speak briefly on this?
Sure, we've been planning for a long time to replace the large culvert that's, although it's large, is undersized on the Townhouse Road. We solicited bids for that. The town received 5. The low bidder on the project was Farley Inc. from Rockport in the amount of $206,194. And that was the engineer's recommendation as to who it should be awarded to based on cost and work experience.
Great. Can I have a motion, please?
I move the board
Woo.
I move the board award the contract for the Townhouse Road culvert replacement be awarded to Farley Inc. The amount of $206,914. The town administrator be authorized to sign on behalf of the select board and the town the notice of award and any other construction contract documents necessary for the successful completion of the project.
Second.
Moved and well seconded. Discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. A lot of planning. What was that?
Just kidding.
Sorry?
Sorry. Nothing.
No, what? Good?
We're good.
Okay. Having concluded that piece of business, before we can act on the next item of business, I need a motion, please.
I move that we suspend our meeting as the select board and that we convene as the Board of Assessors.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. Now that we are convened as the Board of Assessors, you have a memo in your packet regarding an abatement due to an error. And if I could have a motion, that would be great.
I move that the board grant abatement number 2022-07 to Penobscot Bay LLC in the tax amount of $2,047.28 to correct an assessment error.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. Having dispatched that item, we need another motion to move on with the rest of our agenda.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, I dare you.
Wait. Okay. I move that we adjourn our meeting as the Board of Assessors and reconvene as the select board. I dare you to second that.
Second.
Having aggressively been moved and seconded, is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you very much. And moving along, we have a resignation, unfortunately, for the Comprehensive Plan Review Committee. Can I have a motion, please?
I move the board accept with regret the resignation of Terry Moulton from the Comprehensive Plan Review Committee.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? It's too bad. She was great.
There's another opportunity, Andy.
Yep. Yep.
There's no limit.
Be on 3 boards.
All right, so if there's no further discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And David, would you care to talk to us about the emergency operations plan update?
Not really.
Briefly?
Town of Lincolnville's 2016 Emergency Operations Plan is now considered out of date. And we've added it to the to-do list to update. That it would be really nice to have an emergency management director.
Yes.
There's an opportunity, Andy. And just wanted to make everybody aware that we're working on it and we'll still follow it, but
Good
be
question.
tweaked.
Yeah, question?
Yeah, in the letter it says that they are willing to help us out.
Oh, and they have.
I was gonna say.
And they are.
Yeah, so, we're
They
getting that.
being Waldo County Emergency Management Agency, but yeah.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Are there specific deficiencies in the plan that they've?
I think the biggest deficiencies in the plan are basically names and dates of people and verifying that, call this, do this, is still the right person to call.
There's some department head change.
Yes.
Details, but yeah, nothing.
We've created the public facilities director, and so
Yeah.
we gotta roll that in. The fire chief's changed since then. Fortunately, we don't have a number of emergencies that require us to look at the plan, because most of it's emergency and we take care of it. But we still should have a plan up to date, so everybody's on the same page.
Yep. And anyone out there in TV land who is good at logistics and communication and maybe has some experience in emergency services, contact any one of us at the town office. And David, do you want to give a brief synopsis on agenda item number 12?
Sure. Back in January, let me get that out in front of me if I could. We had a special town meeting regarding a number of items that needed repair. So we had 3 articles. The first was regarding some plumbing and heating and mechanical systems here at the town office. Those have all been done now. We've replaced the hot water thing. We've done the mechanical in the basement with the heating system, and we put the new filter system in. I don't know if we've had all the bills come in yet, but we're not going to expend all the money in that article that was approved. The third article was about the floats at Breezemere Park. We've had those repaired. We think they're ready to go back in the water when there's water and not ice. It's unlikely that we're going to have expended all of the money that was appropriated, because it didn't turn out to be quite as much work as we thought it was going to be. And finally, on the tennis courts resurfacing, we've awarded the contract for that, but the work hasn't been done. But needless to say, when we're done, we should have some small amounts of money left over, because the monies were appropriated from the coronavirus local fiscal recovery funds, to you and I known as ARPA funds. Those monies have to be committed and by a certain date and then expended by another date. They were obviously committed, but they won't have been expended because we're not going to need it. My suggestion to the board is that the board consider having an article at the town meeting that says any monies that weren't spent from these will be used to reduce property taxes in the coming year. It's going to be a couple $1,000 maybe.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
So to that end, would someone care to make a motion?
I move that the board instruct the town administrator to include for select board consideration an article in the draft annual town meeting warrant that would seek town meeting voter approval to utilize any funds remaining from the articles approved at the January 12th, 2023 special town meeting be used to lower the property tax commitment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? Seeing nothing, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And Kern, do you have an update for us?
As of right now, I have nothing to say.
Note it in history.
Again, this is 2 meetings in a row, I've got nothing to say.
Josh, do you have an update for us?
I'm just excited for our Wednesday Nichols Solid Waste Board meeting.
I'm excited that you're excited. And Mike, do you have an update for us?
No, at the last MMA Legislative Policy Committee thing, I learned that there's a piece of legislation that's in the hopper we might want to get involved in and testify for, simply because it's so that it would allow remote hybrid meetings to not go to each committee like we do now. Like finally, it's like common sense prevailed, and they're saying if the select board says it's good enough, it goes all the way down. Anyway, I have no idea if that, where that is politically, everything like that, but if anybody wants to go up, I'll let you know when that's going to be a public hearing.
Okay,
Great.
thank you. Steve, do you have an update for us?
I do not.
And neither do I. And we have the treasurer and payroll warrants to approve and sign.
I move the board approve and sign the treasurer's and payroll warrants.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you very much. And is there any other business that the board wishes to attend to? Just a thank you to the town of Islesboro under our non-agenda items for their generous donation. Very much appreciated, and perhaps should we reach out to them about meeting again?
Yeah.
If you want to, sure.
That would be great.
I
think
think
we
it
should.
would be
I'd
great
like
to
to do
go,
that.
just touch base.
Yeah. Yeah, get back on the same page again. It's been a pandemic since we've talked to them.
It has.
Did they come here at the last time we met, or did we go there?
We went there, I think, and I don't, they've probably only been here once,
Maybe.
maybe,
Yeah.
but, it seems easier for us to go there, I guess.
I wouldn't mind going.
They want it that
Yeah,
way.
I like the boat ride.
Yeah.
All right, since we have no other business to attend to, can I have a final motion, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And gold stars to you both
Thank
for
you.
hanging out.
Yeah.